Hey everybody, Brandon Clifford here, Global Franchise Solutions, a franchise consulting firm based in New Hampshire that plays matchmaker, connecting entrepreneurs with awesome franchise brands. And today, really excited to have an actual franchisee on the line with us today. One of my good friends, Deb Evans, who recently just invested in a WOOPS franchise. How you doing, Deb?
I'm good. So when you say whoops, you gotta go whoops.
Whoops, right? Yeah, I get excited about it.
Yeah, you got me excited about it. It is a fun brand.
It is a really fun brand, awesome branding, terrific product too. I've tried it myself, and yeah, we're excited to learn a little bit more about WOOPS. But before we talk about WOOPS, Deb, I know you're excited about WOOPS, but we want to hear a little bit about you too, okay? Because this is about you. So tell us just a little bit about yourself and kind of what you did before investing in a franchise.
Sure. So been in franchising for a long time. From 1996 to about 2004, I was a franchisee, but was with a technology education franchise. Absolutely loved it. I mean, kids, education, what could go wrong? It was all good. But then I went to the corporate. I actually made a big move and went from New Jersey to Texas and went to the corporate to serve as the brand president. Again, loved the brand, loved what I was doing. And then when social media came around, it's like, oh, I love social media. How can I help other franchisees and franchisors? So then I moved away from the brand to help more franchisors and franchisees with social media. I've had my eyes on different franchise brands throughout the process because once in franchising, you know this, in franchising, always in franchising. And once a franchisee, I really think always a franchisee. And then WOOPS came along and started franchising in 2015. So again, I started watching them, and timing now was just good for me and my family to become that franchisee again. Still do my consulting, but be a franchisee too. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and I want to pause you there for a second because before we get a little bit more into why WOOPS, you have had a tremendous background in franchising in general. And and like you said, you were a franchisee before, you were a brand president, you've been consulting with brands for a long time. So why franchising in general? Like, what do you love the most about the franchise model?
Well, and I know with your consulting, there's a model, and you just said that. Why franchising? There's a model, there's a concept, there's process and procedures, and somebody already tested the business before you. Because I've had a lot of folks say, well, why don't you just open your own business? And yeah, I could, but why go through all that headache when somebody else has already gone through all the trials and errors? And and some brands aren't good and not a good match, and some don't have their stuff together. So it just, franchising in general, it just makes perfect sense for me. And the whole relationships that you build, I mean, over the years, you think within IFA, there must be like 5,000 members. Sometimes I think I know all of them because they're also willing to give and connect with you and engage with you. And whether you're a competitive brand or not, it's a big family. I would not try to open my own business ever.
Awesome point. And I like to say that all the time, that franchising, it's a people business. It's people helping people in business. It doesn't matter if you're selling macaroons, ice cream, oil changes, maid service. It doesn't matter. It's all really, it's a business model, and it is a family, like you said. It's great. So
it's relationships. And that's what, with social media, which, we're both very active in, it's building that relationship. And within franchising, you've got wonderful relationships that you can tap into and just work with. It is just wonderful.
All right, well, cool. Let's jump a little bit into the brand now, and share with us just a little bit what attracted you to WOOPS as a concept.
So it's the product first. I went to one of the bake shops, I think, in New York City, because they have several bake shops and they have kiosks. And I'm a sweet eater and I'm a baker, but I can't make macaroons. Save my soul, I cannot make a good macaroon, but I love them. And the WOOPS macaroons are all handmade in the bakery in the Bronx in New York. And then they're shipped frozen to the local kiosks or the bake shops. They're so delicious. And then once you try the product, and then you meet the corporate or the staff and the leadership team, it all it's the visual, it's the excitement, it's the, they're also colorful. It's like it's a well-rounded franchise brand to be part of, from product to service to leadership. It just makes perfect sense.
Great. Awesome. And so what is a piece of advice that you might give someone who's just beginning their franchise investigation process, thinking about becoming a franchisee? Just a little piece of advice you give them.
Okay. So over the years, I've watched several franchise brands, and then, knowing that I was ready to go back into franchising as a franchisee, I started my due diligence again. The numbers is what everybody wants to look at first. You want to look at the numbers. You want to, does it have an item 19? Do they disclose their numbers? Really dig into that. And then, it's not just paper. You can read the FDD, which is really cumbersome for some folks that are getting ready to go into business, why they have people like you to help you, dig through that. And then it's, can you relate? Is the culture, is this something that you can get really excited about? Can I get really excited about selling macaroons or teaching children how to use technology or social media, whatever it is? So you have to have, that, and it's a cliche, but you have to have that passion and excitement for it. And then connecting with the other franchisees. I think a lot of prospects forget to do their own due diligence and reach out to the current and past franchisees to learn from them. Am I going to agree with everything they do? No. They may have made mistakes and why, they may be a little unhappy or why some are really excited, but, just reaching out and picture yourself part of that brand. So with WOOPS, I do, I've connected with a lot of the franchisees.
Yeah, that network is invaluable. If you opened your own business, you couldn't call, if you owned a pizza shop, you couldn't call the pizza shop three counties over and ask them for advice. That's not possible. Correct. But with a WOOPS, you can, So, all right, awesome. So I know you live in Texas, but you're opening your location in Colorado, you told me, which is really cool. And so when do you guys plan on being open? Give yourself a plug. How can we order macaroons from you? All that sort of stuff.
And I always say my first kiosk, because I do plan on being that multi-unit franchisee. The first kiosk will open at the Flatiron Crossing Mall, which is outside of Boulder, outside of Denver. We're targeting early September for the opening date. Fortunately, my daughter-in-law is going to be my manager since she lives right there. So she's managing, because I would not recommend absentee franchisee business for anybody. So I'm going to be a hands-on, but just from Texas. But the thing that I'm going to be handling, so she's going to handle the kiosk. What I'm really excited about is events and corporate conferences and conventions. Brandon, if you're going to be doing a conference or a training program, you've got 15 people and you want to really wow them, you need some of those delicious, colorful macaroons. And then you're going to email Deb at BuyWOOPS, BYWOOPS.com, and we'll start that conversation so that I can assess what your event is, how many macaroons do you need? Do you need them branded? Do you need your own logo on there to really pop and, impress your clients or, those folks that you're meeting with? So that's how you can reach me. And that's the part that I'm going to really be handling from our Denver WOOPS franchise.
Awesome. That's really cool to see that you can manage that from afar like that as well, too. So
virtually.
Yeah, it's great. All right, well, that's about all the time we have. So thank you very much for coming on, Deb. If anyone out there is interested in learning more about WOOPS, feel free to reach out. Like Deb mentioned, you could email her at deb@buywoops.com if you want to learn more about this franchise or any other franchise out there. Also, you can reach me, Brandon, at globalfranchisesolutions.com. Thanks a lot for your time, Deb. I know you got a busy day. You got a lot going on. So enjoy the rest of it, okay?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.